Guns are a complicated issue for me, mainly because I've never been a gun guy. I've never had guns in my house. I don't want guns in my house. I don't like guns. But there are certain people who I want to carry guns all of the time. And that's why I was horrified that 5 military men at a recruitment center in Chattanooga, Tennessee were unarmed, left as sitting ducks for a terrorist attack. And yes, it was a terrorist attack, even though the administration is reluctant to admit that. It is exactly what ISIS has been trying to do on social media as it reaches out to the sick minds of the disenfranchised Muslims in this country. That mission, very possible, should they choose to accept it, has been extremely well publicized. So why weren't we ready? You don't think that ISIS knew that our military men and women on the bases and in recruitment centers were unarmed because of some asinine government regulation? Instead of gun-free zones, we should call it human target practice. So what has our government decided to do in reaction to the killing of 4 Marines and a soldier in Chattanooga? Oh, not allow our men and women in the military to carry sidearms to protect themselves. No, no, no. They've made the suggestion that they don't wear their uniforms out in public. In other words, they should hide. Now, many governors across the country have decided to act on their own and arm National Guard recruiters at their recruiting centers. Bravo to them. But other governors are being even more cowardice than our federal government. Governor Jack Markell from Delaware, for instance, is not only refusing to arm the National Guardsmen inside the recruitment centers, he's closing down the recruitment centers. He is quite literally telling the National Guard to run and hide in the face of terrorism while he figures out what to do. Again, I don't like guns, but if the bad guys have them, I want our soldiers and police to have them too. I don't know if you've noticed, but the war is coming here. And I want our soldiers and police officers to be able to defend themselves and be able to defend you and me. I travel to the military stations in New York all the time, and I see men and women in military garb carrying automatic weapons to protect you and me from terrorists. You're telling me that when they go back to the military bases, they have to put those guns away? It makes no sense. The way to fight terror is not to hide from it, but to face it head on. Again, guns are a complicated issue for me. I'm not a gun guy, but I have a deep appreciation for the heroes who take up arms and stand fortress against those who would do my family harm. To those in the government who don't have the courage to take up a weapon and stand a post, get out of the way and let these men and women do the job they were trained to do. And for God's sake, let these men and women defend themselves, because Chattanooga was just the latest. It's not the last. I'm Larry Mendte. See you next week.